Three 2026 trends that I dislike. The first one is to be continued. I really dislike this trend because sometimes you just want a really good horror movie standalone experience. I just want an ending that feels satisfying, and I don't want to feel like there's a cliffhanger and oh god, I have to wait 6 months to see how the storyline's going to end. And I'm just not really a big fan. I feel like, if you create a good horror film, then people will at least be open-minded for a sequel. I know that I said that Ready or Not felt like it was just such a good standalone film that it wouldn't need a sequel, and I was kind of against it. But then I saw the trailer and I was like, you know what? I trust them because they made a really good film the first time, and the sequel does not look like a cash grab. It looks like they put some thought behind it. So there you go. Sometimes you don't need it to be continued, even if you're planning on creating a sequel. Just create a really good, satisfying film. The second trend, which is very closely related to the first one, is sequel hooks. I'm not a big fan of this trend for the exact same reasons that I don't like the first one. I feel like if you make a good film, people might be interested in the second one, but kind of dropping hints about the sequel, it feels like such a Marvel Cinematic Universe thing to do, and I don't necessarily think that we need that with horror films. I do think that this trend can be done well sometimes, especially if it's a post-credit scene, but in general, I'm just not a fan. Another trend that I really can't stand, but that I must say it does look like this trend is kind of on its way out, is horror filmmaking gimmicks. This is anything that's done during the process of making the movie that the filmmakers talk about so much that it becomes the main marketing for the film, as opposed to just creating a movie that has good horror scenes and a good story. So for instance, Mads was a film that was done in one take, and they made a really, really big deal about that. And then there was another film a couple years ago that was a completely silent film, and I swear there were so many interviews about what was it like making a silent film and blah, 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 blah. And as I was watching it, I was like, I actually think this movie would have benefited a lot from a few flashback scenes with dialogue. In terms of trying to be so experimental that you actually do something that harms the film, I feel like it's a problem in that way. And I also feel like it's a problem because it's a substitution for good storytelling. So not a big fan of this trend, but luckily, it does look like there haven't been that many films that have been doing this recently. So let me know in the comment section below, what horror trends do you dislike?